All right, let's get right into it. We have officially left the era of AI hype and vibes. We're now in what the industry is calling the accounting era. Basically, it's the AI reality check, where the numbers finally have to start making sense. Okay, let's dive in. And it all starts with this monster number right here, $470 billion. That's the projected spend on AI infrastructure this year alone by the big tech giants. It's a truly staggering amount of money. Which leads to the single most important question being asked on Wall Street, especially as earnings season kicks off. Where is the ROI? Analysts are calling this the final exam for big tech. The bill for the massive AI party has come due, and now investors want to see the receipts. And this chart, wow, it really lays bare the huge disconnect we're seeing. A stunning 56% of CEOs are reporting they've seen zero return on their AI spending. And look at that tiny sliver. Only 12% are actually seeing gains in both revenue and cost savings. This isn't just a slow start. This is a real structural gap. So that brings us to our first big story, the immense financial pressure cooker these companies are in, right? They've built these incredible AI factories. Now they have to prove they can actually turn a profit before the balance sheets start to look ugly. Okay, so let's break this down. You've got Amazon leading the pack with a projected $146 billion in spending. But check out Meta. They're spending $125 billion, which is over 64% of their operating cash. And they don't have a major cloud business like an AWS or an Azure to help pay for it all. Each one of these giants is facing a really unique high-stakes risk here. But while the accountants are sweating, the scientists are making these incredible leaps. And that brings us to our second story. The fundamental breakthroughs happening in AI reasoning, and of course, the hardware that makes it all possible. And this is a perfect example of the latest breakthrough coming out of China. On the left, you've got Google DeepMind's AlphaGeometry. It's a passive solver. It's brilliant, but it needs massive computer clusters to work. Now look at the right, TongGeometry. It's an active proposer. It doesn't just solve problems you give it, it actually comes up with new ones. And get this, it does it all on a single GPU you could buy off the shelf. This is a monumental shift. So why is this such a big deal? Well, listen to this quote from the research team. The AI isn't just crunching numbers, it's learning to spot aesthetic value in logic. It's developing a form of intuition. And that matters because moving from simply imitating to actual creative discovery, well, that's one of the giant leaps needed to get to true artificial general intelligence. But here's the thing. All these amazing software breakthroughs, they don't happen in thin air. They still need ever more powerful hardware to run on. And that brings us to NVIDIA, which just made its next huge move to control the entire hardware game. So, say hello to the Rubin platform. See, NVIDIA isn't just building a faster chip anymore. They're building a whole integrated system. The new Rubin GPU, the Vera CPU, the special memory, it's all designed to work together perfectly. The goal here? To build what's called a high-moat ecosystem that's super hard for anyone else to compete with. And, crucially, to drive down the cost per token, the cost of generating every bit of AI content, by a factor of 10. This is how they lock in their dominance. Which leads us to this really fascinating kind of weird paradox at the heart of the whole AI era. While our individual ability to get things done is absolutely exploding, our collective scientific progress might actually be getting narrower. First, the amazing news. New data from Anthropic shows the productivity gains are just off the charts. Look at this. A complex data analysis task that used to take almost 2 hours now gets done in 5 minutes. That's a 20-time speed up. For skilled knowledge workers, AI is basically a superpower. But, and this is a huge but, there's a flip side. A huge new study found that as scientists use AI more and more, collaboration across different fields has dropped by 22%. So yeah, we're getting faster, but we're also staying in our own lanes. The professor who led the study calls it collective mountain climbing. Imagine AI as like a perfect guide that's really, really good at taking you up the mountains we've already mapped. It creates this kind of scientific gravity that pulls everyone toward the known peaks. The huge risk is that we start to ignore all the unexplored frontiers where the next truly world-changing discoveries might be hiding. Okay, so with all this incredible power and progress, of course, come massive risks. And what we're seeing now is a global race to write the rulebook for AI, trying to get a handle on security, ethics, and who really controls the data. One of the biggest technical and legal headaches right now is something called model memorization.
Basically, it's when an AI, which is supposed to be creating new stuff, accidentally just blurts out something it was trained on almost word for word. It's like an unintentional data leak of copyrighted or private info.
And believe me, this is not just some theory. Check out these numbers from a new study. They are shocking. Researchers were able to pull near verbatim chapters of copyrighted books out of Claude 3.7 Sonnet with a 95.8% success rate. Even Google's Gemini is super vulnerable. This is a massive legal nightmare just waiting to happen for these companies. And the threat isn't just accidental. Hackers are now using AI agents to build sophisticated malware like VoidLink, and it's slashed the time to write malicious code from 30 weeks down to just 6 days. For the very first time, AI has actually surpassed human error as the main cause of data breaches. Think about that for a second.
So in response, nations are scrambling to build trust. Japan's rolling out IceMap certification. The EU's huge AI Act is about to go live. What's really emerging is this dual-track system, where companies have to follow these big global principles while also juggling specific national data laws. It's complicated.
So if we pull it all together, you can really see the big conflicts playing out right now. First, it's that massive spending versus the hard-to-find ROI. Second, you've got the paradox of soaring individual productivity that might be causing our collective science to narrow. And finally, it's the constant tug-of-war between breakneck innovation and the urgent need for a global rulebook. This is the new reality of the accounting era. Which leaves us with one final really crucial question. As we start to add up all the costs, the financial, the scientific, and the societal, in this new era of AI accounting, who or what is ultimately going to foot the bill?